Let me ask you something. Have you ever wanted backup power or even your own solar setup, but every time that you look into it, it feels like you got to spend $10,000 or $15,000 just to get started? Yeah, I'm not going to do that. I'm building mine one piece at a time, and it starts today. Hey, if you're new here, I'm Kevin, but most folks call me Paw Paw. On this channel, we talk about tiny homes, affordable living, and building a life that you can actually afford. And today, I'm going to show you the plan that I'm putting together to build my own solar power system and my own solar shed without going broke doing it. Right now, my setup works, but it's kind of all over the place. I have portable power stations here and backup power stations there and panels here and panels there, cords running everywhere. I got stuff inside, I got stuff outside, and the more I've added, the more I've realized that I don't really need more pieces. What I need is a system. I want to slowly build a backup system that will turn into something to help lower my electric bill, and hopefully one day we can go completely off grid with our power needs. And this is bigger than just convenience. This is about control, because right now the power company controls your bill. You don't control outages and you don't have much flexibility. And I know a lot of folks that are watching this are trying to figure out the same thing. How do I get a little more independent without taking on a huge financial hit? So most people think solar has to be big, expensive, and done all at once, but what if it didn't? What if you could build it the same way that you build anything else in life, one step at a time? So here's the plan. I'm going to build a dedicated solar shed, and inside that shed is going to be where everything lives. My batteries, the inverter, and all of the solar connections. And then I'll run power from that shed back to the house. So instead of a bunch of scattered setups, it becomes one clean, expandable system. So what's the actual goal here? At first, this system may just power a few important things. Maybe the refrigerator, maybe some lights, maybe the internet during an outage. But over time, I want this thing to grow. I want enough battery storage to eventually be in here to run critical loads for several days if we needed it. And maybe one day, even most of the house. Not overnight, not all at once, but one piece at a time. Now, obviously a system like this has to start somewhere, and WattCycle actually reached out and offered to send me a couple of their 48-volt server rack batteries to help kick off the project. Now, I'll be honest with you, I only take partnerships that actually make sense for things that we're already doing here on the channel. And since this whole series is about building a realistic, expandable solar setup, these batteries fit perfectly into that plan. And if some of you guys are interested in checking these out for your own setup, I'll put the info and my discount code down in the description. Okay, let's see what WattCycle sent us. Open up our box here. We got two of these batteries. Got a user manual. Looks like we got the two leads between that'll connect two batteries together, along with a communication cable. Those are the little protective covers that go over the posts, and then the hardware we need here to connect handles and for the mounts. Let's get a first look at this. Let's see what this battery looks like. And this is a serious battery. This is no joke. These things are not lightweight. They are heavy. I think they're over 90 pounds each. There we go, 48 volt, 100 amp hour server rack battery. WattCycle sent me two of them, and instead of trying to build a full system all at once, I'm building this around these two and then adding batteries over time. I'll start with two, learn the system, then expand with more batteries, more solar, and more capability. That's the idea for the foundation anyway. Now, I did pick up a pretty serious inverter to go with this system. WattCycle has a new 12,000 watt all-in-one inverter that they just started offering. And I'll show you that in the next video and really get into it. But I actually bought this with my own money, and we're going to find out just how good it is. It's a beast of an inverter, and it should be able to handle the plans that I have to grow into it. But here's the key. The inverter doesn't matter without the battery. The battery is the heart of the system. That's what stores your power, and that's what gives you flexibility. Now, if you're brand new to solar, you may be wondering why I chose a 48 volt system instead of one of the smaller 12 volt setups like I have in my camper. And honestly, it comes down to efficiency. Once systems start getting bigger, 48 volts can move way more power more efficiently. Less wasted energy, smaller wire sizes, and just better overall performance. Now, I'm still learning this stuff myself, but from everything that I've researched, 48 volt is really where you start stepping into true whole home capable systems. Now let me tell you what I'm not doing. I'm not putting $20,000 on a credit card. I'm not pretending that everybody can afford one of these giant turnkey solar installs, because honestly, that's just not reality for most working people. This system is going to grow the same way that our tiny home did, slowly, piece by piece, paycheck by paycheck. And I think more people could move toward energy independence if they realized that they didn't have to do everything all at once. Now, let me be real with you. This is not going to happen overnight. This is going to be slow, steady, and paycheck by paycheck. Sometimes I might move fast, sometimes I won't, but I'm going to show you what works, what doesn't, and what I'd do differently. Because if you're sitting there thinking, I can't afford to do this, I want you to see something different here. You don't have to build the whole system. You just have to start. I'm going to start laying out this shed and getting the foundation in place. And we're going to start building this thing for real. Now, my plan is an 8x12 shed with a single slope roof. I'm planning to make the roof a 29-degree slope, which is roughly the best angle for solar panels in our area. If you're going to mount them permanently, that's the best angle. If you're going to mount them so that you can change the angle from season to season, month to month, then that angle would obviously change depending on the season. But since I plan to mount these at a permanent angle, 29 degrees is the best for my area. The idea for the shed is not only be our solar power shed, but I hope to carve out a small space inside for a little YouTube studio. And one of the downsides to living in a tiny house is getting quiet time to be able to film videos. Between the dogs, grandbabies, and my wife and her love of running the vacuum cleaner at the worst possible times, it can be really tough to find time to film. So a little setup in the corner would give me a dedicated space to film these videos for you guys. I'm going to be using 6x6 treated posts and building a posted beam foundation. I'll use 6x6 posts, and then I'll use 6x6 beams. A normal garden shed could probably handle 4x4 posts, and an 8x12 definitely don't need to be that sturdy. But with the weight I'm planning to eventually put in this shed, I want the heavy duty beams and the 6x6 posts to give me a really solid foundation. Those WattCycle server rack batteries, they're no joke. They weigh over 90 pounds each. And even though I'm only starting out with 2 of them, I plan to eventually have 6 to 10 of them. At least that's the dream and the goal, to have enough battery supply to be able to run our home 3 to 4 days, including autonomy, you know, regardless of weather conditions or the time of year it is. One thing I've learned building anything, foundations matter. Tiny homes, solar systems, financial freedom, all of it starts with the foundation. This may look a little overbuilt for a small shed, but these batteries are heavy, and I'd rather overbuild now than regret it later. I'm trying to think ahead here, not just for what this system is today, but for what it might become years from now. And to be honest, this project, it won't go perfectly. There'll be mistakes, delays, budget slowdowns, but that's real life. Every post in the ground, every battery that I add, every step forward is going to get me a little closer to more freedom and a little less dependency on the power grid. I don't know exactly how long this project is going to take me. It could be a year, could be longer. I hope it's just a couple of months. But honestly, it doesn't matter. It's okay, because the goal isn't perfection. The goal is progress. A little more resilience, a little more freedom, and a little more control over our future. And if you've ever wanted to build something like maybe this or something different, maybe this series will help you show that you actually can if you take your time. So if you want to follow along, make sure that you're subscribed, because we're just getting started. So before I can even think about wiring solar, this thing needs a home. And honestly, building this shed is the first step towards turning all of those scattered pieces into an actual system. So I've got the floor done. It's not pretty, but it's gonna do the job, I hope. It's good and solid, and it's ready for those batteries. And next I'll be framing the walls, and we'll get that part done.